It was good old Bob barking at the chickens. You know, it's good morning. Good morning. Eyes are still a little swollen. Just got a shower. Still a little warm, but it's early. It's almost 7 a.m. Probably is 7 a.m. because it always takes me a while to do shit, you know? It's a lot of stuff to hook up here. When I looked at the clock, it wasn't 7 a.m. yet, but it probably is now. Coming to you live in real life from Cape Coral, Florida on August 27th, 2026 at approximately 7 a.m. We already went over that, but still. So it's not so hot right now. I can feel like it's going to start being, you know, in the 80s pretty soon. And that's nice. It's like when you can go outside and you can just sit there and not sweat. That's how you know when it's going to be a much better day. Or when it's a little chilly when you wake up. That's how it is living in the South. The deep South. The dirty, dirty South, right? Is that what they used to say? It's dirty, dirty. But we're still here. We made it. Woke up. It's good morning. Everybody's still waking up. Chickens are just coming out. They're searching for all the morning bugs. Just looking around thinking, we're still here. It's not so bad of a day yet. Got coffee. You know, there's things you do. I got coffee. I could make me some eggs if I wanted to. You know, because I got the chickens. Anyways, good. I should show you guys what my eggs look like when you break them open. They're pretty all right. Deep orange color. Large eggs, try to make sure that the shells are hard, you know. Make sure they're getting enough calcium. I don't eat eggs. Not very often. I mean, maybe if I make egg pie. Not quiche. Quiche is quiche. But egg pie is a breakfast casserole. Just came up something on my screen and I missed it. It's a breakfast casserole and I like to call it egg pie because it sounds cool. And you put all kinds of breakfast stuff in there. Just depends on what kind of breakfast stuff you like or what you have left over in your refrigerator, you know. You put everything in there. Peppers, onions, mushrooms. It all just depends on what you like. But sometimes, I started this a long time ago, I call it breakfast casserole. I take canned biscuits, well, the ones that are safe now, before you didn't have to worry about everything being bioengineered, and you squish them out, you know. Listen, I have to use my words, so you're just going to have to go with it. You squish the biscuits out so they're kind of flat, you know. And you cover the bottom of a large baking dish, probably what is it? A 9 by 13, I think they're called. Anyways, the large one, not the super large one, the one right below it. And put some oil in there, then you squish your biscuits out. Sprinkle a little cheese. I like to put some syrup in there too. Squirt a little syrup on top of them raw biscuits. And then it takes about 12 eggs. You beat them up real good. And you put your bacon and your sausage all over there. And then you pour your eggs on. And then on top, you put a nice thick layer of cheese. I love cheese. So you put a nice good layer of cheese on there. And then you bake it for, it's almost like about an hour at 350. Good things come to those who wait. I'm telling you right now. It's just like pot roast. You got to wait forever for pot roast. 3 hours. Which really isn't that long, depending on the size of the pot roast. But I came up with breakfast casserole a long time ago, decades ago. I just put stuff together. So there's a lot of people out there that make breakfast casserole now. You know, I know a lot about food. I like food. Most people, Bob, don't eat that. You're gonna get Look, I want to show you what he's doing. Now he's going to stop doing it. Never mind. He's trying to chew the power cord that goes over to the chicken coop for their fan. Bet you wonder why I was using a box fan, because that's what I had. I had a box fan on hand. Now I'm using the top part to an oscillating fan, because guess what? I had that in my garage too. Why would you go buy something if you could just use something at your house already? I'm just saying. Got another hole we're about to have to fill up today. Like, I'll show you. He really is like, he's getting at it. Right there next to the house. I filled the other ones up yesterday. You see? Remember they were over there on the other side of the rose bush? It's just a part of having puppies, right? Well, it is Thursday. It's Thursday. Didn't get as much news in as I usually would by this time in the morning because my laptop broke, like I told you yesterday. I'm not trying to make you feel bad. It's on my mind. And I'm like, them sons of bitches. Tariffs are a motherfucker, because that's the only reason why they gone up so much. So, well, we're only in August, right? We get all those sales there in Christmas. So, I'll check it out then. I'll wait months. Patient. Not really patient at all. Try to be, though. But don't we all? You know, look, Bob, you need to stop it. Sorry about that. He's been a real handful lately. I'm going to have to tell you. I mean, in everything. He's getting on the child safety gate to mess with the... Oh, there went the hawk. We missed it. Son of a bitch. Wait. She just went in the tree over there. See that big tree right there? She went inside there. She flew through. She almost got her a dovey. She might have got her one. She'd be coming through, snatching up doves or anything else. Oh, I know you just saw that. Did you see it behind me? I'll see it when I watch the video. But he's trying to beat up the spider plant. One half of it's all fucked up. It's been a long time since I've had a puppy, but in all actuality, he's much calmer than Earl was. Earl, he tore up everything. Everything. He didn't get me for a couch like Roxy did. I had this one dog. She was a puppy. She was a brindle pit bull and Roddy mix, I think. Anyways, she ate a whole couch. It was the couch outside, and we had to put her on the chain in the yard because Gypsy, our old dog, would have Roxy dig a hole through underneath the fence because Gypsy couldn't dig the holes anymore. She was old. So she would have Roxy do it for her so they could get out. So we would take and tie Roxy up outside when we would leave because she was always eating stuff up. Well, I guess we made her rope a little too long because she made it just inside the back porch because we leave the door open so they could get water and shade and stuff. And she made it just inside there, just far enough to where she ate the whole couch. It was one of those sleeper couches, a 9-foot long one, you know, because it was old. And now she ate it. I don't even know, still to this day, how she got the stuffing out of the bed. There was probably about 2.5 feet of stuffing on the back porch. That back porch had a concrete wall that was about 3 foot high. 3 foot, maybe 2.5 foot. It wasn't just a foot. It was, you know, pretty decent. And there was nothing but stuffing everywhere. Took me forever to clean it up, that bastard. She is a good dog. I've had a lot of dogs. I'm rambling and I'm talking about other things because it's better sometimes just to hear about things, you know, different stories instead of being so caught up in this world that we live in. You know, there's so much bullshit going on, and it can be really rough on a lot of people, you know, and especially sensitive people. And, you know, for years, for myself, you know, we go through different things and we learn that some of the choices that we made were probably not the proper ones. So we just have to work on it and make better decisions and decide that, you know, you don't have to listen to all these church folks, okay? God is for everybody. It's not to be sitting in a building that he's not even in anyways. And we put all these stipulations on everything. And then we down ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We put ourselves down. When all actuality, we shouldn't, because we are supposed to be individuals of a whole. So that means to be yourself and to have your own choices. At this point in this world that we live in, we don't really know all the exact truth. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they've been hiding so much stuff, like giants. They've been hiding giants. They've been hiding the fact that they are talking to some of the fallen angels and demons, and that they've been lying about secret space programs and just all kinds of stuff. And they're causing all of us to fight again. I think she's going to come through again. I see her up in the tree, the hawk. Anyways, it causes people to yell at each other and to not be on the same sides, when the education system made by the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and people like Bill Gates has been completely designed to manipulate the young minds into not knowing the truth and also hating America. I didn't grow up hating America. We stood every morning for the Pledge of Allegiance. We knew that, you know, America was better than the other countries. Now, they say that America is worse than all the other countries, when it's not true, because these assholes, then they go over to these other countries and they realize, what the fuck is this? There's trash everywhere. Women get raped and nobody does anything about it. Gay people get thrown off of buildings. Okay? So as you're marching in the street and you're hating America, remember, you can't go to those other countries. As you fight for something like Palestine and Muslims, and you're a gay fella or a gay woman, know that those countries you are not allowed to be in, because they will murder you because of your sexual preferences. Do I believe anybody should be murdered for something like that? No, I don't. I believe, you know, we really need to cut back on the murdering. Just saying. I mean, come on. Aren't we getting murdered all over the place? I mean, think about it. The poison in the food, the poison in the water, they're poisoning everything. The trees aren't, I mean, some of my rose bushes, I don't know what they're doing, because it's not raining as much as it should. But there's, I mean, I don't know, man. I got 2 rose bushes over there. Dogs weren't even over there to chew them up, and I got to pull them up out of the ground because they're dead now. They just, you could say that I wasn't giving them stuff, but that's not true. They're done. And then you got the one next to it that grew extremely tall, you know, but it's turning brown. When those are the things that everybody should be coming together on, and the fact that they're stealing people, they steal men, women, children, they don't care. They really like them virgins too, so make sure you tell everybody what you are. And they like the children because they're innocent. They're innocent. They like the innocence, too, of people. That's why they want to dumb you down. They want you to be stupid. They want you not to know how to read. They want you not to be able to pick up old books and read them, because a lot of old authors put in their books situations that were going on at that time to make the story be more reasonable. Or some of the stories were actually about people, you know, and it's like they're taking everything. And have they done it before? I don't know. I have a good feeling that maybe they did. Maybe they did. But, you know, we still have birds in the air. We still got birds. We still got our porch lizards. You know, down here in the South, I don't even think they have porch lizards really up in Orlando. Not like they do down here, because it stays so warm. It does get cold, but not cold. Does that make sense? And anything's cold to most of us down here under 70 degrees because it's so hot. Like today it'll be 90 something, which is normal. It's perfectly normal for it to be that hot because it is August. But it usually cools down at night. Hasn't been cooling down that much because usually we get rain in the evening time, but we don't get rain that much. We got a little rain yesterday, but it stopped after I turned the camera off. A few minutes later, went inside. Well, I was going to fix the dog's pool today, and this is something you got to see this. It's pretty funny. Hopefully I'll go fast enough. Come on. You see him out there? That rain filled up that little spot yesterday, and now they're playing in it. I bought the pool for them to play in the water, but they wouldn't really get in it with me. Now they're all in it. And it's broke real bad now. Hopefully it doesn't have a hole in it, and I can just pop it back out, because that's what plastic is for. But they're having fun, you know. That's something like, I know you may not agree with how I have to move this back out of the way because they'll come hauling ass in here and freaking knock everything over. It's just like, kids need to have fun too. They need to play in the mud. They need to make mud pies. They need to play in the hose out in the dirt and all of it. They need it. It's good for their immune system and it's good for the brain because they have to use their imaginations. A lot of people don't do that with their kids. But, you know, they just want us all to fight all the time. You know that, right? Fight and argue, yell and scream at each other, lower the vibrations of the earth into the death cult that they are, because that's what it is. It's just lowering all the vibrations. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but there's some things you're going to have to take a grip on that you didn't know about because you decided that you just wanted to keep your ears closed. I don't want to know about that. No, I can't see that, even though you know you saw some shit. But the doves are still coming. The world hasn't ended yet, right? Because it's going to end? No, it's not going to end. I hope you have a wonderful day. Okay? Just try to have a really good day. Look around and find something that's just neat, you know? Even when your rose bushes are falling apart, find the pretty one on it. You're like, yeah, thanks, God. It's nice. Laugh that your dogs are playing in the water that they wouldn't play in any other time. But whatever. You know, most people would be mad right now. I'm not going to be mad. I'm not going to be mad and yell and scream. I've done all that in my life. I've done all the yelling and the screaming and the drinking and the partying and all the other shit. I've done that. I've been there, done that. I've done a lot of stuff. And as we get older, we need to choose to either mature, right? Because I'm trying to mature, but I don't think I'm all the way there. Know what I'm saying? Because you shouldn't want to AT&T a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm going to give to you on that one. It'll be for the ones that understand from the 90s and the commercials we used to actually have instead of everything being about pharmaceuticals. So try to have, no matter how much dirt's thrown at you, no matter if that asshole in the car in front of you slams on his brakes and you fucking jolts and spills your coffee, you're like, you son of a bitch. You know, in those cases, you know what you do? That's what I do for road rage. We sing, when it starts to happen, you know, you start to get angry. We sing Whitney Houston, I Will Always Love You. No, I can't sing, but I do it because it makes me laugh. And it's better to start laughing than to start screaming, I have found out through the years. Because sometimes, you know, just like everybody else, I get angry. I want to scream. I want to break shit. Just like I believe that's Limp Bizkit. What is it called? He says, break your fucking face tonight. Give me something to break. I listen to all the music, just so you know. Rap, rock and roll, southern rock, country, techno. Not so much that new EMD stuff. I don't. It's a little strange. I like old school break beats and things that talk about love. Music is good for you. I know they use it to manipulate people, but how long are you going to allow yourself to be manipulated? That's the better question. That's what my mom would have asked. She would have said, so how long are you going to allow them to manipulate you? Or are you going to take control of your own brain and your own person? Or are you just going to follow what everybody else is doing because you're a follower? Are you that weak? You're just going to follow everybody? You're not. I'm not. So we just ain't going to follow everybody, right? You got to pick and choose wisely. I think I'm done, bro. It's a good morning. It is actually kind of cool out here. I mean, I got a little sweat on my nose, but that's nothing. That's nothing. It's not 500 degrees. No, I'm kidding. I'm dramatic. You know, there's other commentaries that they're dramatic, and people want to just down them for how dramatic they are or whatever. But you know, nobody sees you when you're being dramatic. It just so happens that some people don't give a shit what people think, pretty much, and they're gonna be themselves no matter where they are, and in front of other people. So as people start talking shit about each other, even worse, doing exactly what the man wants you to do, just remember, you had those moments too. And I've learned this over the years, okay? And this is something I've really had to take into consideration a lot. When you're saying something about somebody else, look at your life and ask yourself, have you done that before? You know, have you been drunk and yelled and screamed at people? I'm sure you have. So why would people want to focus on that? Because a lot of people have done stupid shit without drinking. But you can't sit there and say, oh, well, it was whatever. It's stupid. Okay? Who cares if you yelled and screamed when you were fucking drunk? Who cares if you were funny or whatever when you were fucking drunk? You were drunk. And if you have a problem with drinking, then, you know, maybe you should look at that. But we have come into a situation of where we want to pick people apart about everything. And should we really be that way? Should we pick people apart about everything? I think it's a good question. Maybe we'll leave it there. Should we? Should we just pick people apart for everything? Have a good day.